So, I'm going to start this episode off with a statement that may sound a little bit harsh to begin with, but I promise you as we go deeper, it's going to make more sense. And we're going to lead this somewhere positive. Okay. But I'm going to start it off a little bit strong. And that statement is this: if someone else treated us the way that we treat ourselves, we would not want to spend any time around that person. And that is to say that most of us, especially those of us who are very driven and serious and trying to accomplish something, which goes for pretty much everybody in the deep game community, for those of us of that nature, we tend to treat ourselves horribly. And we do this without even recognizing it because we're so focused on what we're trying to accomplish. And in the name of accomplishing that thing, we drive ourselves with this cold ruthlessness and guilt ourselves to train harder than anybody else and beat ourselves up when we're not absolutely perfect. And we just demand this rigid perfectionism from ourselves. And once again, I'll say it in the way that I put it initially. If somebody else treated you in that way, if a friend of yours treated you in the way that you treat yourself, if they talked to you the way that you talk to yourself in your own mind and demanded the same rigid perfection and ruthless, like cold ruthlessness that you demand of yourself, would you want to spend time around that person? My guess is that for a lot of players, and of course this doesn't go for everybody, but it's a large majority of the players in the deep game community, and it comes from a good place. It comes from just wanting to be to develop as much as we can. However, I'll ask you that question again: would you want to spend time around that person? Well, the answer, of course, is no. And yet we spend more time with ourselves than we do with anybody else. So it stands to reason that we should probably treat ourselves a little bit better. And the first question that may come up for some players, especially the really serious players, is why? Who cares? Like, I'm just driving myself and like, I don't care how I get there as long as I get there. And I may have said that to you when I was younger. I'll put it to you this way. If one of your teammates, let's say the team captain, was treating you in that way, if they were that demanding and that ruthless and that cold and that unforgiving and that perfectionistic and rigid, how good of a leader would they be? What type of performance do you think that they would get out of you if they never showed any compassion, if they never showed any desire to like treat you in a good way? How connected with them do you think you would be? And how connected would the team be as a whole? Well, that type of leader has never had success in the game of basketball outside of like maybe Michael Jordan, but even MJ had his own ways of connecting with his teammates and leading them that were incredibly compassionate, that don't get as much airtime as some of the really ruthless stories and punching Steve Kerr in the face and all that stuff. So, in general, okay, leadership requires a genuine care and compassion for those around you. And if you are not leading yourself in that way, what type of results can you expect to get? It's no wonder that so many of us are inconsistent in our training, that so many of us are inconsistent in the way that we feel on a day-to-day basis. And sometimes we feel amazing, some days we feel terrible, and we wonder, like, why is it so up and down? Why are we so inconsistent? Why are we still not like deeply enjoying this game in the way that we know that the way that we know is available to us, and also the way that we did when we first started playing? Well, this is the reason. It's because we're just not being kind to ourselves. And so, of course, we're not going to get the results that we could. We are making ourselves miserable in the process of trying to get those results. So once again, like as that thought experiment, imagine somebody else is treating you in the way that is treating us in the way that we are treating ourselves, is talking to us with the same like ruthless, demanding nature, not congratulating us on the things that we're doing well, but just constantly beating us up on the things that we're doing poorly, not encouraging us, but like putting us down constantly and guilting us into doing the things that they think we should do. Well, that's what we're doing to ourselves. And of course, that's not going to yield good results. So, once again, the way that we meet ourselves is the foundation to the way that we meet the world. If you want to be a great leader, then first be a great leader with yourself. If you want to be a great friend, first be a great friend with yourself. If you want to be loving to others, first be loving to yourself. And this will have this downstream effect that will make every aspect of your life better. You will enjoy going to the gym and doing the training that you know you need to do so much more when you're actually enjoying being with yourself. You're not going to like default to trying to get out of the training and just like escape into video games and television and your phone and things of that nature, because you're actually going to enjoy the time that you spend with yourself. Right? So think deeply about this and pay close attention, because I'm guessing that for most of us, we don't even realize we're doing this until we become aware of it. And so this is your like call to awareness here. Really become aware of the things, the way that you're talking to yourself. Are you being very sharp and absolute and cold and ruthless? Or are you being like understanding and compassionate? Are you shaming and guilting yourself? Or are you propping yourself up and like holding yourself with good feeling, right? So really think deeply about this, okay? And if I'll end it here. If everybody in the world treated themselves in the way that we're describing, in the positive way that we're ascribing to, if everybody treated themselves with compassion and understanding and kindness and didn't beat themselves up, but were really encouraging and nurturing with themselves, what kind of world do you think we would live in? All right. Think about that, and I will end it there. I hope this helped you out.
Hey, it's Taylor. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, the best thing to do right now while it's fresh in your mind is to head over to deepgame.com and join us in our free masterclass. Now, this is where you'll learn all 8 laws of the deep game and all of the fundamentals that you need to know about the part of basketball that's played with the mind. We've had players call this the best hour of basketball learning of their lives, and it's completely free right now. So head over to deepgame.com to join us, and I will see you there.